So a lot of people nowadays seem to be romanticized by the idea of love at first sight. And even though that's great, and even though it makes for a great movie and a good story to tell your chismosa tías, the problem with that, it comes with a lot of red flags. And it actually slows down the long-term process of your goal by giving you the illusion of progress in the short term. So today I'm gonna be showing you guys why it's better to go to fall in love slower and how you guys can do that if you struggle actually going slower, right? Because we all have our creepy side, and when we fall in love quicker, we had developed creepy habits. So I'm gonna be showing you that today, okay? And don't forget, if you guys wanna work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org. If you're the type of person that always falls in love too quickly, go to mindfulattraction.org, and there you'll be able to book a one-on-one phone call with me and talk to me and tell me all the chismecitos, and I'll be able to help you guys, okay? And don't forget, check out all of my courses. So yeah, if you guys check out my courses, Psychological Game of Attraction, we'll talk about that towards the end of the video, okay? So with that being said, let's begin with the video. All right, let's begin. So the first thing is that the problem with falling in love quickly and why you should go slowly is that it creates the halo effect. These, you gotta understand, most of the things you do are biases. You don't make rational decisions with love. Most of your decision making with love is really with your heart, with your emotions, with your trauma. And usually whenever you make decisions like that, you throw away rationality. And when you don't make the decision with at least a hint of rationality, you just make mistakes. It's inevitable to make mistakes whenever you make decisions with love purely with emotion. And the problem is that sometimes we've been so traumatized and we have so many unchecked and unprocessed emotions that they come out, but they don't feel like trauma. They don't feel like you're being irrational. It just feels right. And so you follow it and you keep repeating the same mistakes because the brain works this way. The way it works is that it gravitates towards pleasure and avoids pain. And so the brain will create its structure, the structure of the brain is through pain and pleasure. So for example, if I owe money, I'm not gonna try to think about the fact that I owe money. If I'm in debt, I'm gonna try to avoid those thoughts because it's painful. And so because of that, your decision making, you'll start spending money because you don't wanna think about the debt, right? And so that's a form of irrationality. And so you do the same thing where if you like the person so much, but they start having red flags, and because you want the fantasy of being in a relationship, you ignore the thoughts ignore the red flags and only focus on the positive. It's very similar. So all of a sudden, you might find yourself consistently dating the same person because you're not interrupting your thought pattern, right? And so the halo effect is kind of similar, where you think because they're hot, they're cute, they look like morenazo, he's a nargon, all of a sudden you ignore all the red flags. You know, oh, he got money, oh, he's cute, he's tall, he could do the spinneroonie, but he hits you, but he calls you name. But you know what? Look at all of the positive things. He apologizes and he's cute. And so the halo effect will cause you to see things that are not there, all because he's good looking, all because they're attractive. That's a problem. When you find, for example, when you find your physical type, you're very prone to that. Especially, that's why types are toxic. A lot of times, types are not based on rational. They're not based on truly reading the person's character. And so you date people based on your type. And the thing is, when you find your type, people, it's like finding gold. You start thinking rationally. You're like, oh, man, we find gold, we'll share it. You find gold, and then you get greedy. That's what happens. You find your type, and all of a sudden, all the shit that Father Alex says goes out the window. And then you want to tell people you watch my channel. Don't tell people you watch my channel. The next bias that happens when you don't want to go slow and go fast, because look, towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you could use going slower to your benefit. But first, I want to show you the downfalls of doing the opposite. The next is the confirmation bias. Yeah, but fuck, let's put it right here. Confirmation bias. Meaning, you have a fantasy. You have a fantasy of a relationship. You have a fantasy of you being with this person, right? And this is what you want to see. And so you have such a strong desire for this that you'll do it no matter what. Even if they're toxic, even if they hit you, even if they show all of the negative signs, you will ignore it because you're getting that one thing that you want. You want it so badly that you're willing to lower your self-esteem for it. And so it's not the fact that you're conscious of the fact that you're hurting yourself for the sake of being with this person, because you gotta understand, when you fall in love quickly, a lot of the times you were intentionally looking to fall in love quickly. You were impatient, and so you wanna have this relationship now. You wanna have this fantasy now. And that causes you to make so many mistakes. And the bad thing about it is that by doing these things, you look unattractive. People are like, oh my God, zoom in on his bad spelling. Shut up, okay? You look unattractive. Because the guy says, yo, this girl's dumb. Like, she can't see the fact that I'm this toxic. She can't see the fact that I am not who she sees. She can't see the fact that I'm taking a long time to respond and she still responds on time. Like, they lose respect. They lose respect for you. They can't respect you. You come across as too gullible. And the reason why you're so gullible is because you're not thinking rationally. You're thinking with your heart, not with your mind. Right? And always remember, the next thing is that whatever starts fast equals ending fast. And this is the truth. By you going slower, you literally prolong the relationship. You literally prolong how much it'll live. It's like having a baby at 4 months into it. Bitch, I know you want to see the baby, but give it another 5 months or however long babies develop. And so you got to see this as like a baby. Dumb animals give birth quickly. Smart animals are longer gestation period. Good relationship arise quickly and pass away quickly. Bad relationships, good relationships go slow and then they last longer. Always remember that. Anytime anything starts fast, it will always end fast, right? The next thing is that the beauty about it is that by falling in love slowly allows you there is nothing in this world that if you slow it down, it doesn't increase its quality. Slowing down, even in editing, slowing down the rendering time, allowing the computer to render it slowly increases the quality of the video, literally. Like it comes out in 4K. But when you say, hey computer, do this but quickly, it'll do it, but it'll come out shitty. Always remember, man, when you slow things down, it allows you to see them more rationally. Because there's no way that your traumas can stay acting on your behalf if you're going intentionally slower than what you're used to. You're able to penetrate and see past your biases, halo effect, confirmation bias, by literally slowing down the process. And the beauty about slowing down also is the fact that you come across as a challenge. This, you come across as too easy. You're dumb. I mean, no, sorry, not dumb, right? Temporarily dumb, right? Or not even dumb, it's just that we have our lower nature. And your lower nature is just not good with decision making. Your inner child is not good with decision making. It's like a kid saying, I'm a girl and he's a boy. It's like, kid, you don't know what you're talking about. Your inner child is irrational. Your inner child comes from you not being able to process intense emotion as a child. And so it becomes stunted and arrested in development, right? And so these people, it's like a child. You can easily manipulate. They're not a challenge. Going slower appears more of a challenge. Now, people might say, how slow should I go, Father Alex? Look, just go as slower than everyone else. Okay, that's all. Because you might say, but will it turn them off? Well, well, funny you said that. You're able to test them. Only somebody who is not toxic will also have the patience, the dick capacity to deal with going slower. Guys who have low impulse, guys that are players, guys that don't respect you, they'll be like, yo, fuck this chick. Who the fuck do you think she is? Mother Teresa? She's boring as hell. Guys that are toxic will see this as boring. Guys that are healthy will say, okay, I respect that. Even though I don't even go that page usually, but I respect that. And it's also a reflection of their character. right? So you're able to test them. You compel them to make mistakes. Right? You compel them to fuck that last letter, man. You compel them to make mistakes. And not just that, but then you make, what do you guys think I'm going to say? Less mistakes. Most of your fuck ups happen because you were too overzealous, too quickly, too needy, too creepy. And so by you going slower, literally, you don't overtext, you don't overpursue, you're not too available, you don't speed it up. And the beauty about it actually, and this is honestly my favorite one, is that it comes with natural boundaries. So it comes with natural boundaries. Meaning by just going slower and the love process, you show the person that you have worth. By going slower, you show the person that you're relationship type. By going slower, you show the person that, you can't do this, that you have boundaries, that you were raised with boundaries, right? And men need to see that. And usually, I swear to God, every time you have boundaries, you pretty much slow it down. Like for example, in basketball, one of the main reasons why you get injuries, like knee injuries, is because it's not that you accelerate quickly, but that your muscles of deceleration are very weak. So when you try to decelerate, and these, for example, I think that you call that, whatever the fuck that is. Anyways, this muscle, if you guys notice, really popping out. This is your deceleration muscle. So if this is weak, what happens, there's weakness. So what happens? All the pressure goes into your knees. And so the weaker this is, the higher the likelihood that you'll hurt yourself playing basketball. So you strengthen this so that you decelerate with much smoother, and it decreases. It's almost like a padding, right? So to decrease injuries in basketball and in every sport, rather than focus on acceleration, your acceleration muscles, actually this is good. You focus on your deceleration muscles, and you literally decrease injuries. Slowing down is your deceleration muscles. Oh, you motherfuckers got a bunch of ACL injuries, a bunch of broken kneecaps, metaphorically, with relationships, because you guys don't know how to fucking slow down. Y'all fall and trip looking all clumsy and stuff. Slow down. You give off less creepy vibes, and you just come across as more confident, right? And you got to do this throughout your whole lifetime. And this comes down to impulse control. That's why you got to deal with your traumas. If you have a hyperactive amygdala, you're gonna be a very impulsive person. A lot of times you may have ADHD. A lot of times it's really creative people that suffer through this. So you gotta control that. So you do that through meditation, going to a Vipassana retreat, or the type of therapy that helps with this is cognitive behavioral therapy. It's really good at controlling your impulses, right? So let's summarize this, okay? So I want to summarize this because I want to encourage you guys to go slower, right? So we're going to focus on this. Remember, when you go fast, you experience the halo effect. And it takes longer for the halo effect and your confirmation bias to fade away, right? You become pleasure-seeking people, okay? Your thoughts revolve around what provides pleasure and runs away towards what causes pain. So if you think they're a great relationship, but then you start seeing that he's a fucking murderer, all of a sudden you're gonna ignore the fact that he's a murderer because you want the fantasy fulfilled. So you go slowly, and going slowly dissolves these biases. You look more attractive, and they gain more respect for you going slowly. You start fast. Remember, whatever starts fast ends fast. Going slowly allows you to think more rationally and rationally. It allows you to judge their character better. In other words, to make better decisions. You may not get what you want in the short term, but by going slowly, you actually get what you want in your long term. Your inner granny is gonna be happy. You become more of a challenge by you going slowly, by its very nature. You test them because men don't like to wait. You compel them to make mistakes. It's not just what mistakes they make, it's how they make their mistakes, right? And what types of mistakes they make when they make mistakes. Some people make mistakes by them being needy. Nothing wrong with that. But some people make mistakes by calling your name, hitting you, all that shit. Very valuable information by just going slowly. or sometimes they want to monopolize your attention by telling you to not hang out with your friends. You make less mistakes in the other side, and you have natural boundaries. People, these are like these benefits. This creepy girl is gonna turn this guy off because she's not watching my channel. Look, look at her. Look how creepy she looks. And that's because she's going too fast and she's creeping him out. She's like, I love you. He's like, Christ, Lord have mercy. Don't be that person. And if that's you, don't tell people you watch my channel. Tell them after you do this, okay? Anyways, let me know if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys need someone to talk to, not counseling, but coaching calls for relationships. And if you guys want to check out my courses, like I always tell you guys, Psychological Game of Attraction for women that are single. Natural Chemistry for women who are in relationships. The Feminine Woman is my latest course. It's more so of like a self-help course for women. So go check that out. And if you don't, I'm closing the channel. Take care.